for Red Zone. Welcome to the Back Yourself podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a great pleasure and honor that I introduce this podcast back in the studio where we belong. And you know I had to go and put my body on the line, unlike both of the underdogs that played today. I mean, fuck me, folks.
Raiders put their body on the line.
Yeah, that it just didn't have any bodies, which is fair enough.
Which is fair enough. Knights on the other.
But some of these other teams didn't have the same excuse that the Bums today did, but we will get to them very shortly. I'm very happy to be back in the lab. I really don't want pricks in the fucking comments being like, brah, your audio shit house. I know it's fucking shit house, Johnny. Yeah. Have you seen our fucking makeshift studio? I'm literally out here on one leg, but it's all right because we're back in the lab.
You've actually made everyone now say that this audio is shit house as well. You can't win with this,
I
guys.
can't win, man.
Actually,
all right, go buy me a new mic.
I actually think this might be the most clicked podcast in a long time. I'm going to call it now because what we're going to say about two of the teams in the finals is going to be pretty bad.
Isn't it a 6-team final? I thought two of the teams...
Now 5 because of the draw.
They changed it. Two of the teams just got eradicated because there's just no reason for them to be there.
We're adding 2 new teams. They both played there. At least they could score.
I'll take that over the Bums that are coming. But for those clearly seeing me in the jersey, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm not particularly happy this round that I have to wear it because they did set us up for failure on the Thursday night after our commentary around this team. We drink that water up and introduce the mighty Brisbane Broncos. The All Blacks stood their ground on their home turf and they booked themselves a trip to Canberra and a top 4 finish to end the season, which many probably at certain points of the season, particularly after they got raped by Dragons, thought was not possible. But Madge steered the ship. And once Adam Reynolds got sniped in Melbourne, everything changed. And Reece Walsh came to life.
This is true.
Fuck me, folks. What a performance by the custodian of the Brisbane Broncos. And the Melbourne Storm are currently in freefall as far as the injury ward goes. Big injury news out of this game, which we will get to shortly. But it has seen the entire competition spread wide open. And the bookies are scrambling to figure out who should be favourites between the Raiders, the Panthers, the mighty Storm, and now the Brisbane Broncos. We have essentially very close-priced competition, but let's just speak on this game because it was a very important one. Chris, what did you make of the Brisbane Broncos annihilating the Melbourne Storm?
Well, this shaped the whole round. I mean, hypothetically, I think the world thought they were going to lose this game, and Walsh came out there and said, no, I will drink more toilet water. And hypothetically, they would be playing Roosters come in a week's time because... Warriors didn't win and Sharks slept walk through fucking Saturday.
Warriors won.
Look, first of all, Brisbane, what an end to the season. It kind of shaped like they were at the start, but I think this has been more impressive simply because of who they've played more than anything else and how they've performed without Adam Reynolds. I think you mentioned it that they were playing bums until this point. You're not wrong. They were.
This is the first big scalp they got.
This is a huge win, not just for them, but also the fact that they beat Melbourne, which is a team they usually don't beat and always lose to them, in a game that Melbourne really went out there to show how good they were, and Brisbane said, no, we're better, which you're not. But anyway, we'll get to that more in the finals preview. But I think Walsh was... I mean, I can't believe how much hate he still gets. What else do you want from the poor bloke? I reckon, he can have as much toilet water as he wants playing like that. Maybe other players in the league, i.e. players on Knights, could drink some toilet water and they could wake up because...
I think Knights drink the wrong toilet water.
Maybe they drink the wrong toilet water because holy fuck. Walsh, that one set, he kicked the 40-20 and scored the try on the back of it.
Yeah, I was fuck me.
You can't stop him at the moment. Now, it's up to the Raiders to stop him come next week. But wow, he blitzed this Melbourne team. And Melbourne... We're a little asleep going up there. I thought at moments in the game they would come back. It just never happened.
Yeah.
And what was very strange, which we haven't seen in a while, is how poor their 10-meter offense was.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Credit to Brisbane, they defended it really well, but that's just un-Melbourne-like. Mm-hmm. Which is a bit of a concern, especially with the Hughes injury. Now, Hughes has broken his wrist.
Yeah, he's fucking finished.
There is always a chance. We saw Cooper Cronk many days ago play as well. I think Hughes will play the grand final if they do make it.
He's finished.
On one fucking arm.
Nah, he's fucked.
No, I think he'll make it. I think he'll be all right. And I also think on the other side that Ezra will play the grand final as well if they were to make it.
Which they are a chance at now, right?
They're a chance, of course. Well, they've got the 4 spot. So they realistically have this game because I don't think... Well, we'll see.
This is an insane game.
But essentially, going to Brisbane in a prelim final, the last time that happened, Warriors fans will know, they got annihilated. Yeah. So, look, you don't want to give Brisbane really a week off. Do they want the week off? That is hard to determine.
No, they want it.
Look, I always go for a rest, but Brisbane are probably the hottest team in the league right now. And
for no reason.
For no reason. So kind of the week off kind of fucks you over. Like, we'll see how the week off feels for some of these teams that rested this week, i.e. Raiders, who are... that's the polar opposite. They've had a week off. Bro, only player that went up from the 17 to Redcliffe was Strange because he wanted to see his boy play. Everyone else stayed in Canberra. So how does that feel to a team that's on fire? Now, conveniently as well, which I'll get to the schedule more in the preview, conveniently these motherfuckers get a Sunday game where they could have scheduled this on a Friday night or the Saturday night game, but no, they give them the ultimate rest because Raiders need more time apparently. But it's still going to be a cracker match because Brisbane are probably the hottest team in the league. Just don't bring back Adam Reynolds, please. Please don't bring back Adam Reynolds. This team is playing lights out.
This was a fascinating game to watch unfold. A lot of what we predicted didn't come to fruition, and I've had very specific commentary around my question marks on the Broncos defense heading into this game, seeing as these cunts went out there, conceded 30 points to Cowboys like it was nothing, and in very particular patches across the year, they haven't proved to me that they can consistently defend their goal line with the resilience of a Michael Maguire team and really invest on that side of the ball. Do I know that they can go out and score 30? At this stage, I really would be curious to see what they've been averaging in the last 5 rounds. I know it's probably close to 40 a game, considering they played Knights and Cowboys. But the way they're attacking is back to the roots of what worked for them in 2023. It's Katoni on the right side and it's Stags all over the park and really not much else. And with this team, you don't need to complicate your attack. I don't want to fucking see the ball in Adam Reynolds' hand for no reason, doing garbage. Give the ball to Walsh, get the fuck out of his way. And it's one thing to annihilate Cowboys because really most teams do that. Knights are their own entity of something else that I haven't seen in the sport before. But to go and methodically pick apart Melbourne to the point where it looked like they didn't have answers every time Brisbane got the ball in their 20 in a game that Melbourne actually tried in was very impressive to watch. On the Melbourne side, I have a really hot take that no one's going to agree with, but I don't give a fuck because this is a Back Yourself podcast.
They're going to win without Hughes.
Watching Hughes in that first 30 minutes, I actually think they're better off with him not playing.
Okay, listen.
As someone that has played footy with a dislocated shoulder before,
he was fine.
Every time Haas ran at him, this cunt was like, all right, fuck. I'm just going to close my eyes and hope that my shoulder doesn't give out on me.
Well, look.
And a lot of the quick play the balls that Brisbane were generating, and it's great to see a team with a brain of, let's run our biggest and most dominant front rowers, athletes at this guy consistently and see what he's made of. And to be honest, I didn't see Hughes win any fucking tackle that he made prior to him getting injured. And that's not an injury that you can take into playing Canberra, playing Brisbane, playing Penrith's forward pack without getting exposed at some point. And as far as them, Melbourne being able to score, yes, Hughes was pivotal to that happening last year in his Dally M season, but everyone conveniently has forgotten that the greatest hooker in the competition was missing in this game, and Garlick's service from dummy half was actually nauseating to watch, right? 70% of the problem in my eyes, if they had Harry Grant and Wishart playing the whole 80, I know that these cunts would have ended up scoring 30.
Listen,
but his service was just fucking despicable.
We'll get to preview more, but conveniently, in my opinion, they get a layup.
Oh, well, that's just due to who's coming to town, right? But speaking more on Melbourne, they did look kind of deer in headlights when they were on the Brisbane 10. The tackle in the 20 was super skewed by halftime. Melbourne had over 30 with really nothing to show for it besides the kick garbage try that they scored. And on the other side, Brisbane didn't get down there very often, but Melbourne seemed very ill-disciplined and not intent on winning the battle of the trenches, just giving them pointless piggyback after piggyback after piggyback, which is really unlike them. And they're playing shit footy at the wrong time of the season, but again, they do get a layup with the fucking losers coming to town next round.
It's not just that. They get the God draw because of what happened.
Yeah, the God draw, yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Because the only... they could play Penrith.
Yeah.
If they don't win week 1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They got the other side is going to be a fucking bloodbath between Brisbane, Cronulla, and Roosters.
Absolutely.
Like, they've got the god
Like,
draw, and they have to come to Melbourne.
They don't have the injury gods on their side with Pappy and now Hughes both missing the. It's been confirmed they won't play next week. You know what? If let's say Sharks, Raiders, Brisbane, Penrith finish third, Melbourne would be like really next round, right? They'd be underdogs to Penrith. They'd be underdogs to probably Brisbane. But they're still 4-point favourites to, again, the morons that we'll allude to shortly after this. But as far as this particular game goes, look, Nelson, this cunt's just something else. Like, he actually can't be trusted to play at this point.
I don't think he'll play.
He's done for the year. He's fucking finished. So you have Stefano replacing him, which is an upgrade at this point. You have Howarth coming in, and you have Harry Grant coming back. So there are reinforcements. Pappy's concussion would be alleviated after next week, which is fine, again, because of the morons they're playing. On the Brisbane side, does this put them as legit contender status? In my eyes, I think they've fucking finished. Not to speak too much on the preview, with going to play a Canberra side that's well rested and only having to lay 3.5. I'll get to the reasoning more there.
Of course.
I'm not buying into their defense yet because, as you said, Melbourne just looked like deer in headlights, and for no reason either.
Yeah.
Right? 7 days ago, these cunts quit the Cowboys, and in my eyes, they haven't had a gritty, strong defensive win outside of this Melbourne one for pretty much like majority of this season. So am I all of a sudden going to buy into them and be like, oh, they can just go and throw the footy around through Walsh in the finals and defend when they haven't been able to show me that they can do that for the entire season? No, but did they send a message to the competition of, we are some team that you can't take lightly, and if you do, we will expose you for that? Absolutely. So shout out to the Broncos.
Yeah. I guess, you know what, did they overachieve based on their injuries? Maybe, but intrinsically, we had them both in the top 4. So they should have finished there in the first place and probably a lot higher than where they were. If they actually had that middle part of the year, some of those losses that they had in the middle really fucked their season because they really should have been where Dogs are, if not higher. But they've made the top 4. They've bought themselves a chance to get a second chance. But both games, where like the Raiders game, we'll get to more in the preview, but I think it's all or nothing because the week after is not going to be any easier. And I feel like they're playing. I want to get to that game once I get to Dogs, Sharks. So I want to get to the Sharks, Roosters game. But I feel like that's a big game.
I'm worried we're going to give too much of the preview away in this review.
Yeah, but we're going to preview again. Don't worry about these guys. We're going to preview again.
But as far as this specific game goes, because this is the round 20 review, the Broncos were very impressive. Walsh looks like he's got his fucking hair on fire and he's putting the competition alight. And it's really impressive to watch, back to the form that he took this team to a grand final in. And everyone's kind of going along with the ride. On the Melbourne side, they're reeling, but you can never count out a champion side and a champion head coach like Bellamy. So I feel like they're back to the drawing board, and I'm not hitting the panic stations.
Do you put Munster the fullback? Do you put Failongo in? We'll have to see what Bellamy does.
We'll have to see what Bellamy does.
It's going to be interesting because I don't think you can start Peasant and Wishart in a finals game. Can you?
I would put Harry Grant to fullback.
Okay.
Personally, but we can move on from this one to a
the
game
worst
that was
team ever.
Hard to watch in some capacity. Probably one of the worst rugby league matches I've ever seen in my life due to the quality or lack thereof. It was exciting for the first 10 seconds, and after that it was not exciting at all because shout out to the Waz, who are just awful side. Fuck me. Like, one of the teams that should be exempt from finals footy with the way they've been playing. That was diabolical from you guys, but a 27-26 game that is ended up winning on a Daly Cherry Evans field goal that was meaningless in the end, but meaningful for those that just check the scoreboard once the game ends. What did you make of this one, Chris? Is there much to really say about the Waz at this point?
Well, you can't win a grand final. Only 5 teams can, and I'll explain 5 in that particular game. I don't know what I've done to this team. They're just destroyed. I want to say, like, Wayne Egan, you are probably the MVP of this team. As much as Metcalf and Barnett have been great, it's without Wayne Egan is probably the worst team I've ever watched in my life. Holy fuck. I mean, I came on the podcast. I remember when we did the preview of yours, I said, I thought Egan was playing. There's no way I'm going to take these cunts without Egan. They're fucking dreadful. I didn't realize how bad they were. I thought they were bad, but fucking hell. I mean, these cunts got donated 6 points and lost to Manly. I mean, what motivation did Manly have after 10 seconds this cunt gave them the ball?
At all.
And literally, I think like by the 20th minute, Warriors were down 16-6.
It was fucked.
I was like, all right.
It was actually insane.
I was like, okay, all right, Manly of war. Shout out to Cherry Evans. Deserved a try, in my opinion, but got the field goal, match-winning field goal. It ended up being, but it was simply putting the Warriors away. Manly, your end of the year is nothing to fucking gripe about. You can't still suck ass, but I think like we'll get to the end of season review for your team. Probably one of the teams that did have like many injuries throughout the year that just fucked them over at the wrong time, and obviously everything around Cherry Evans leaving and shit. Like there was a lot of excuses for Manly, even though I don't expect them to be this garbage. When I couldn't believe it, Togo Kola has 17 tries. When has that ever happened? But Warriors, look, if you're a Warriors fan and you're from New Zealand, sell out the crowd, make as much noise as possible, enjoy your home final because you do deserve one throughout the year. You've played good enough to deserve a home final, but don't expect to win it next week at all. It's going to be fucking destruction. But it doesn't matter because it's really a all or nothing. Throw the dice and just go there and have a good time. Don't expect to win. If you do win, then holy fuck, I don't know what we're going to say on the preview next week. But I don't know what to say about this team. Like they've just fallen apart through injuries. But this particular performance, that right edge with Dallin was like so exposed that I want to say like Manly last year would have maybe put 60 on this team. More. Yeah, like
that's right, bro. I'm not joking. Like
Manly would
fully firing Manly with Jake and Olakawatu and the rest of the forwards, and them actually giving a shit, might have cracked 80. I swear to God, like the way that first try they conceded, where Ben Trebojevic walked through and gave it to fucking Lehigh, and Rocco Berry did this and Dallin did this. I was like, wow, these guys are going to host a finals game next round.
Yeah.
That's insane to me, and. The crazy part is you're going on about Wade Egan, which is like obviously applicable. I thought Sam Healy was their best player in this game. He actually played gun. So it wasn't even like, oh, well, we didn't have a hooker. Our hooker played shit. Like, no, he was their best player. Genuinely, I can't think of one thing Warriors did well in this game at all. And you're saying they were donated 6 points. No, they were donated 12. They scored at the end to Manly with 5 sin bins because they were just like, they're like, how many cunts can we get set up before they score? That's how they actually managed to get to 26. Their tries were Fisher Harris in the 9th second because Cherry Evans was asleep. He was still thinking he's playing next week.
He wanted to burn my first try scorer.
At the end, they scored against, again, Manly just sin bin the entire team and they scored. They had to even score in the corner. They couldn't score up the middle. And Sam Healy scooting for no reason when Manly were asleep. They lost the forwards. They lost the outside backs. They lost the ruck. They lost the kicking game. They lost the motivation. They lost the intensity. They lost the execution. Defensively, they just lost in general. Like, I can't believe you would look like you were in that much of 6s and 7s going to fucking Manly of all teams. And this was supposed to be the Cherry Evans show, but it actually turned into the Luke Brooks show.
Yeah, can't play possessed.
Who played possessed. He thought he fucking played his 351st game for Manly for no reason. At certain points of this fixture, Manly literally finished the game without a player on the bench.
Yeah.
And made more than 15 errors? Yeah. Like, they kicked off the Loz and he just threw the ball at the floor. He's like, well, they can't score. Fuck it. Let's see how many tackles we can make before they give up. I mean, this was hard to watch stuff. And on the one hand, I'm like, well, you guys get a home final and you deserve it and you've had a good season and the regular season ends on a good note. But on the other hand, I'm like, I can't unsee what I just saw. Not like, this isn't just a one-off either. This has been like literally from the point that Metcalf tore his ACL, your entire franchise just fell apart. So, and
they've lost heart.
And this wasn't like you rested all your players and you rocked up to Manly. No, Fisher Harris played the best lock of all time, which is what I've been hearing. Aaron Clark,
listen,
the Dalian
how
medalist.
much better would have been if you just rested and lost
gave
the
up,
200-0?
That would have been better. Then like
both these clubs did the same thing.
On the Manly side, look, you guys are mentally just don't give a fuck, which I can't hold it against you. You have played awful. Like truly awful in this game and still cruised to just victory. And if you actually like kept the foot on the accelerator for the whole game, I don't know what this scoreline would have showed. This Warriors team was like really getting exposed in that first half. It was scary, and they had no answers either. It's just Manly just started dropping the ball for no reason. So I'm glad our best bet won, Manly and overs. Whoever laid the Manly line, I'm sorry that you had to witness your bet lose in that last play thing. I'm not one of them, so I don't give a fuck.
You know how good the down the wires guy was? He actually
he gave you head to head instead of -5.5.
And like when they won by 7, I was like, fuck, I was going to cover. And then they scored because Jazz decided to get sit bid in the last second. I was like,
great.
fuck it up. At least that third
one. But no, truly, like, I can't. I want to preview next week with the preview podcast with the wires, but
I think that's the shortest one.
Yeah. Especially we'll get to what Penrith showed, but Warriors was like alarmingly bad. Jeez, please let me know in the comments. Are you on board with what we're saying of your team has looked awful for a long time? And this was their worst performance, in my opinion.
100%.
Losing to Titans, playing garbage against all the teams they played awful against is fine to me. This was like alarmingly bad.
It's Manly. Like Manly with no motivation. Like, it's just shit.
Yeah, just really bad. So we can get to you guys next round. Manly, you had a fucking awful season. You can't sound good. Yeah. We'll get to you in the season review, but good to see a player of Cherry's caliber leave on a winning note to where he directly on the scoreboard was the reason they won in the end, kicking a left-footed field goal, which was not the first time he's done that.
Conveniently, they get especially another half next year.
At that thing, you will be missed in the Manly colours, and truly, if I see you in the Roosters colours, that is something that I should retire. That I shouldn't see, but you know what? Fair enough. You've earned that right. Moving on.
To Roosters.
To the unfortunate introduction of your upset alert going down in flames to the might of the Sydney Roosters. Shout out to J-Mass, shout out to Barnesy, shout out to Mark Nwanga'Nituwase, leading try scorer of the season in his first full season in first grade. Obviously, had flashes of his debut when he climbed over Alex Johnson and showed him what a true high jump champion looks like. But in the end, 36-6 was your full-time score, and it was close at points, but in the end, they did pull away from.
Well, they front run as per usual.
What did you make? It's
the same. It was literally what's incredible, and South are awful, but it was carbon copy of last week, where Roosters went to Melbourne down 10 at halftime, and then they started front running. South weren't in front at any point, which I think in this game may have felt a little bit different for Roosters because when Roosters went up 10-0 in 2 seconds, I think they kind of thought we'll just cruise past this, but then South's like. There was actually resistance.
The boys came on, mate.
Which is hard to say for South, usually. They never show any resistance whatsoever. But they showed some resistance. Ashton Gray, our boy, scored. Ashton Hall. Conveniently, when he scored that try, I was cheering because it actually changed the momentum of the game. And South actually looked like they were awake. But then...
They went back to sleep.
I think it was... When Spencer Liniu scored, actually, to make it 10-0, I truly thought South would lose 270-0. But they tried. And...
Well, it was a sin bin.
Yeah,
immediately after they went into halftime 10-6.
Which it was. I'm not saying it wasn't.
The hip drop, and look, in my perspective, they hung in for dear life in the first half. 10-6 was a massive win on the scoreboard. And legit, genuinely, I believe this with all my heart. If Souths had any other fullback, they would have been down 26-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
The way this motherfucker came, pumped Nwanga'Nituwase, and then he was on the other side when they kicked the Tupa. It was insane. There's two of him. And then he was their only life on offense where he literally gave Ashton Hall a fucking try.
Yeah, well, he went straight through, right?
Jai Gray was like single-handedly keeping them.
He's so fucking good.
The forwards, like, they just don't have the middles to compete with the Roosters, which is kind of what I was saying on the preview, which is fine. The heart and soul where Brandon Smith and Cam Murray and Cody Walker came on kind of injected life in them while they were lifeless at the start. And at the point that they should have been down like 22-0, it was only 10, and then they scored. You thought they had hope, but...
The sin bin,
they are like nowhere near the level of Roosters 12v13, right? Mm-mm. And as soon as Spencer Leniu scored, it's like the life was sucked out of them. And credit to the Roosters. Look, a bit of their own stupidity led to 10-6 at halftime. I feel like they made a lot of errors. You saw the Nwanga'Nituwase fumble where South's like, if they were able to take advantage of that and make it 12-10, who knows, maybe have a different ball game. But they kept their composure enough to not allow Souths to get to a point where they're in the lead and then they like really turn into deer in the headlights. And once the sin bin happened, they took full advantage of it, played the right way, and literally destroyed the existence of Souths, making this 36-6. Never really got out of second gear in the second half. So shout out to the Roosters. They're probably one of the informed competitions along with the Broncos.
They're one of the five teams.
Informed teams in the comps running into playing finals in a way that you can hang your hat on. Will they go to Cronulla and upset them similar to what they did a few years ago in the infamous CR1 game? We'll have to wait and see come the preview. But in this game, look, they probably were the right side in the end, and
They
showed me something that they're not the true morons that they were in previous seasons, and they went and put a dagger into South.
Well, they've done their job now. I mean, as much as I'm a Roosters hater, I don't think I expect them to make the 8 this year. I don't think both of us did.
I had them 8th, actually.
Okay, well, fair enough to you. I didn't expect them. They have grown, like... Did they expect themselves that Mark and Robert Toyle would be this fucking good? So
for sure.
Fair enough. But whatever happens from here is just a plus. Like they've made the 8. They've it's hard. I don't know if I can say they deserve it because Dolphins were awful at periods of the year, but I've seen Dolphins be great, especially against great teams as well. But anyway, at least they got there in the end, and the wins against Dolphins and Manly really got you guys in the 8. So fair enough to you guys. And anything plus from this point is just a boost on your season and essentially moves up the grade of how good this season was for the Roosters. So shout out to them. At least they made it. And these other cunts. South, on the other hand, I think for the heart they showed, they really wish they had some better injury luck and they would be there. I think where South were predicted for a lot of teams that these cunts would make the 8, I don't think that was too bad of a take because I think they actually played pretty good in periods of the year and showed a lot of heart. And if they had players, they would win a lot of games.
Yeah, they would.
I think they ended on 9.
9 wins.
9 wins? 8? 9 wins.
Could they get 4 more wins, 5 more wins? Yeah,
yeah, of course. I mean, Murray was out the whole year. And
Latrell was out
pretty much the whole year. Seawalks was out. Humphreys was out.
Brandon
Smith was never there. Yeah. Wyden was out. I mean, Jai Gray was out.
Campbell Graham was
out. The whole fucking team has been out at periods of the year. So, Kulamotungi was out.
Totola.
They just never had everyone and never had the troops. So, maybe next year.
Sullivan.
But they are getting a bit old, so we'll have to see. But in this particular game, Roosters deserve victory, deserve top 8, and anything from here for the Roosters. And that game on Saturday night is... early game of the year. It will be an absolute war between two really hot sides at the moment. Yeah.
No, glad that the fixtures broke the way that they did because I'm really looking forward to that one in some way. Well, the two teams we don't give a fuck about play each other, which is good.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, shout out to the Roosters. Happy that you guys are in the 8 because you deserve to be. I disagree with you. I had them 8th because I feel like before the season started, they just had there was too much commentary around what they didn't have and not enough focus on what they did. And as we said, probably they will carry the Dally M medal into fucking the finals when Teddy does get named at the end of the season. He was cracking again, really tests you on every single part of the field. 100%. And he should be given the Australian Kangaroos jersey by Jacob Preston at the end of the year.
And the New South Wales jersey. Fuck you, Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, for sure. And Souths, it's all right. There's always next year, boys.
Always next year.
I hope you enjoy going back to Bali because you may as well just stay there. Yeah.
Well, look, Manly 100% in Bali. Souths have gone already.
Knights are there right now.
Knights' flight was tonight.
They're flying.
Yeah, they're in the air right now.
Moving on to not the thriller in Manila. The Penrith Panthers came back from their bye, dismantled the Dragons. Shout out to the Zarefas brothers in a curtain raiser for what is probably going to come to Warriors next round, where they looked abnormally healthy. Pretty much everyone was there outside of Martin and To'o. And Dragons, with nothing to play for, conceded 40 to them. Essentially lost the ruck for the entirety of this game. And with no real motivation outside of making a statement, Penrith allowed Dragons to score some garbage because Dragons seem to do that most rounds, actually, which is in all credit to them because there are other teams, a la Knights, that can't score regardless of what happens in the game. And, there's really not much to say. I feel like this could be a 2-minute review.
Yeah, this is the 2-minute review game. I actually had to sit there and think what I was going to play in this game. And I was like, I did say on the pod 1 to 40. I was like, fuck it, I'll just take 1 to 40. And then thank God, Jaden Sewer scored that try, otherwise we'll fuck. But there's really nothing to say. One thing is I don't understand why you didn't re-sign DeBellin. Again, he was great in this game. And
he hasn't done enough for the
club. Dragons, look, you have a lot of boys banged up. Another great year. We'll get to more in the season review. Penrith. Holy fuck, you cunts are annoying. The only thing I want to say is fucking set up for you cunts to get to the prelim, aren't you? Because of the dirt that's in this fucking top 8.
Fuck, they got the draw of the dreams.
But actually, I don't know. Does the draw change if Roosters win?
No.
Because they're 8th?
No. It's set. Regardless, they will play the loser. I wonder who that will be of Storm Bulldogs.
Fantastic.
But this is where I feel like there's some reprieve.
They have to go to
They
Canberra.
will go to either Canberra or Brisbane. Them
Again,
having a bye,
Brisbane will be funny.
right? And then they will play probably Melbourne or who knows, Sharks. We're gonna come to the grand final. Who the fuck knows?
But yeah,
You get drawing Warriors is like fucking finding candy, giving candy to a baby.
At the moment, what would you rather see? Warriors in New Zealand against Penrith, or Penrith at Bankwest?
I'll see Warriors in New Zealand, China, Pluto. I'll see them anywhere, bro. I don't give a fuck. It's Warriors. You can't even score.
So my point is, would you rather see Penrith come fucking Saturday?
Yeah.
It would be a fucking war.
Yeah.
These cunts are just going to get a layup on Saturday.
It's all right. Look,
look, they put them in the shit time slot, the shittest one of the finals.
Fuck, yeah.
Look, we will watch the game to see if Warriors score more than 0.
Yeah, that's the intrigue. Look, they're healthy. Cleary has the ball on a string yet again, and they're looking like the team that shades of the team that
I do have something to say.
made 5 straight grand finals, but I don't think they're quite all the way there.
How cocky are these cunts?
We weren't going to find that out in the Dragons. I will have to reiterate, so far, we lost on Melbourne, we won on Manly, we lost on South, we won on Penrith -4 into over 43, because again,
everything's over.
There's no reason to defend in this sport when there's nothing on the line.
And Titans.
And so we're even on the round at this point, and Penrith, that was a pretty easy win. What did they go up, 20-6? Never looked like relinquishing that lead. Dragons, there's actually literally nothing to say about you guys in this game. That will come the season review.
Yeah.
And Penrith, the way the draw's breaking out for you guys, obviously, it's like the Undertaker coming out of the fucking ground of, they can't make the top 4, but this is better than the top 4.
The only thing I want to say, these cunts are so fucking gay. You know the jersey that they wore in Vegas? You know they're wearing the whole finals?
Sure.
Because they want the gold logo, because they want to show to Warriors that they won 4 champs in a row. What gay cuts, bro?
Yeah, anyway.
I hate this team.
We can just move on swiftly to...
yes!
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Remember the Titans, baby. I was watching that shit come 9 p.m. tonight because the Titans put a dagger... Well, I guess they put a dagger... Not in the fucking scalp of the Tigers. They put it in the scalp of Knights because they were like, this wooden spoon that we've been carrying in our back pocket for 26 rounds... We took it off Souths, we held it for 5 weeks, and then we're throwing that shit like a grenade to the Knights. And after playing like dirt for the entire year, including the first half of this game, going into the sheds down 28-10 to the Tigers, who can't score, made Royce Hunt look like fucking Billy Slater. And then they came out and they're like,
fuck it, who gives a fuck?
It's all right, Des. We got you, lad.
Bro, I actually think Tigers got theirs. They're more than Titans got theirs.
Tigers were like,
fuck it, here you go.
Fuck them.
Benji could have said at halftime, give Des a win, fuck it.
Tigers.
These cunts, they didn't care the second half. If they played
I don't think they cared in the first half.
If they played half as well as they did the first half, they would have won, convincingly. These cunts just all right,
Tigers,
we can't.
Shout out to Harry for the final time until the season
and
review,
Charlie.
my friend. Charlie, you, me. I think we've had a pretty good gauge on the Tigers. Outside of the Cowboys game, I feel like we've probably tipped them right for 6-7 rounds in a row.
They gave up again.
And I tipped this one money, it was just beautiful to watch, really. And only Titans would go down 28-10 to this team. And only Tigers would lose it from there. At halftime, I was like, I'm curious. Because genuinely, and this is the despicable part of all of this, 28-12 I think it was, I was like,
Titans could come back.
Titans could win.
Yeah, I know. I felt it too.
It was Tigers were $1.
Yeah.
And Titans were $14.
And you're like,
and I was like, why the fuck would anyone take Tigers at $1 right now?
Why?
Anyway, because this is just an episode in the season of this Titans of.
Yeah.
We saw this last week.
I know.
They went down 18-0 to a better team with a higher, way more high-powered offense. Tied it, quit again, tied it, quit again. This time I was like, well, if they actually start firing up, I know Tigers are intrinsically aren't good.
100%.
And Benji in the press conference was like, yeah, look,
we're ready for
I've demanded a lot of this team in the last 2 months. Physically, I've trained them into the ground. And they had been playing like a side that was a bit more, playing with a lot of intensity, physically bringing a lot to the contest. They do lack depth. And as soon as one of two forward goes down, they start bringing morons into the side. But it feels like a lot of gas was taken out of their tank. And then once the Titans start front running, you blink twice and it's like they have Roosters jerseys on. Shout out to the Bai kid that came on in the green headgear. He actually looks like he could be someone in this league. Scored the no try in 2 seconds, but his carries were very impressive, so shout out to him. Carter Gordon of War, after being in hospital for about 4 straight months of this year, came and made his debut. Looked like he's no Nwanga Nituwase from rugby, but he looked like he could be a player in this league. And
Titans got another outside back.
Truly, for Tigers to not score for 40 straight minutes against Titans,
yeah.
With the way Titans were, at no point, even at 28-10, did I look at this game and think, Tigers are just like so much better than them. It was so much imploding from Titans at random points. You had the Fodawaker tripping over himself when the entire Tigers try line had no players. Like, it was just vacant. Who wants to score? And he didn't play it properly. You had Brian Kelly dropping it on the wing for no reason when they created a 5-on-none. And through all of that, here comes AJ Brimson to plant the Titans flag in the Tigers end zone. Manu himself actually looked gun at center for no reason.
Well,
Kinney was despicable under the high ball, but played good in regulation. Tino looked like Nwanga Nituwase in the air. And in the end, after everything that had happened, the Titans do not come last, even though they deserve it. Shout out to Back Yourself Premium for getting on Titans at an underdog price with your boy. And shout out to the Titans for playing for me for one last time. Don't think I'm pulling any punches come the season review, but on this day, gentlemen, you get a thumbs of approval from me. Thank you, boys. Tigers, you can't suck, and you have a long off season, but it's all right. You know, it's all part of the process.
They won 9 games. Tigers winning 9 games. If you said at the start of the year, Galvin won't be there halfway through, you'd be like,
they're lucky to win 9 minutes.
Yeah. So, fair enough. Titans, you can't still win shit. Like, I feel like it's kind of blown out of proportion because of the way Knights lost today as well. You Cunts were the worst team in the fucking competition in this year, for sure.
Were they?
Oh, yeah. Like,
the
Knights, had excuses.
No.
What do you mean?
There's no reason to go out and go minus 300.
Kalen literally played 10 games. Not even.
That's fine.
Sharp played 3 games.
Were they any good when they were there?
Yeah, they started...
Yeah, for the first 2 weeks, and then they gave up on the air.
Listen, Ed, to add into that, they had the liability of Adam O'Brien. And these cunts have Dez.
They quit on him, mate.
Yeah, look, all
right. They both quit on both of them.
Anyway, Titans, congratulations for fucking up my future. But at least I covered myself by taking you pricks in this game. Tigers, there's nothing to say. Congrats winning 9 games.
Quit, really?
Congrats winning 9 games. And I know at halftime you can't thought, okay, what drink should I order at the bar when I get to Bali? Should I get a Long Island iced tea? Literally, that's what it felt like. But the fact that it didn't matter is probably why you thought like that. And why at that point at halftime, Tigers were probably thinking about that, and Titans literally were thinking the same thing. But the issue is Titans within themselves just generate some garbage to score, and that's why they came back.
No,
and Tigers were like, "Oh fuck, these guys are actually trying."
They're once Titans started trying, they're like, fuck it, bro. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I actually put this down to them trying in Canberra last week for no reason.
Yeah.
They fucking tooth and nail to the 75th minute. And then in the 45th minute when they scored, they're like, all right, fuck it, go Brimson, yellow, go score it. It's fine. Anyway, thank God we don't have to see either of these teams for a while because fuck me, boys.
Moving on
to seeing teams.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to you, Matthew, Chris, Tim.
I saw Matt. Shout out to you. Thanks for linking
all
up.
of the Bulldogs fans. You might want to turn the volume down.
No, we're not screaming at them. They've made
or if you're a real one,
turn it up.
Pump that shit up to 100.
This shit is going down.
Because we're coming in nuclear on Seraldo and Gus, the regime that was supposed to change the fucking landscape of the NRL. But all they did was change their offense to inability to score. And I feel like it is quite poetic because the highest of highs that these motherfuckers experienced was which game, Chris? Round fucking 5, I believe. When they went to Cronulla without Burden, without Kickout. When the Sharks were flying.
We didn't hear the end of it.
And the Dogs were at what? $4 underdogs, 12.5 point underdogs. They held them to 6 points.
10. They couldn't
10 points. They really ragdolled the Sharkies and made them look amateur. And at this point, they were anointed as, holy fuck, we did this without Kickout and Burden. We are unstoppable. And fast forward 20 rounds. You morons go to Shark Park and try when we explicitly told you motherfuckers to not try. And we outlined all the reasons why you shouldn't try. Your players might get injured. You might try and play...
It all happened as well.
You might try and play your way into form, but actually play yourself further out of the awful form that you were in. And the way this unfolded just kind of shows a crash course of Sharkies going here and the Dogs going...
They haven't exploded?
At times it was hard to watch. Your attack was putrid. You hung in there in the trenches for 25 minutes, which concerns me even more that they actually went out there and tried.
Yeah, I know.
Because if they went out there and lackluster, and I'm going to get to Sorrell though, I want you to not cut me off for about 2 minutes once I get to him, because he really pissed me off.
Why?
Because unlike you,
I was at the game drinking.
You were drinking, right? You were probably fucking in the Sharks' sheds at full-time clubbing.
Yeah.
Me, I sat there refreshing the NRL page. What's Sorrell going to say in this fucking press conference?
Oh, God.
Immediately, first question, what did you make of the performance? You can't score again. Yeah, look, this was a tough one to get up for. I imagine the players had a hard time getting up for this one. They had nothing to play for, and I'm just excited at the next portion of this season. And I'm like, you fucking dingo. They had nothing to play for. It was hard to be motivated to play. Are you joking?
They can't score.
You realize that you didn't have to play any of these players, right? Montoya's fucking ankle injury could have been avoided if you just didn't play him. Jerry's 11-day HIA stand down could be avoided if you fucking didn't play him. Kickout's head knock might have also been an 11-day, but you know what? Could have avoided that if you didn't play him. And you couldn't even take the accountability to be like, you know what? We tried and we fucking still played like dirt. So we have a lot of work to do going to Melbourne next round. You have fucking, with your smug face, went in that press conference and were like, hey, you know what? This game wasn't that important, bruh. But it was important enough for you to name everyone, wasn't it? To go out there and score fucking, 6 off an Inari 100-meter try. Outside of that, what did they do? Burden was there. Preston was there. Crichton was there. Tracy was there. Galvin was there. 0 points in 80 minutes through your attack. This team, fuck me, boys. I'm genuinely at a loss for words for them.
You done? I just realised who's playing in this backline next week.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder they're 4.5.
They're fucked.
I mean, I forgot Jerry was out for 11 days.
He's gone.
Montoya died. Kiraz is dead. So this backline, holy shit, they're going to get annihilated.
Yeah, I know. They have nothing.
It's just Crichton and fucking Bobs.
Yeah.
Let me get to something, which I was at the game. And I explicitly,
it's Rinakama and Co.
I don't know who's playing there. Who the fuck's playing Salmon?
Oh my god, that's.
I mean, I don't know who's playing center next week. Genuinely, they had all the ball. They were genuinely tired. Like
Dogs.
At full time, I think I counted 10 of the 13 players like this
On the floor, yeah.
Sharks were just like, the fuck
Thanks.
are these guys doing?
Yeah.
I think this was in a game that they won 13 plus. Sharks maybe tried for 10 minutes. The offense, Sharks just literally looked at Dogs and laughed. They were just like, "Oh, is this what you cunts are going to throw at us?" It's fucking easy shit. And by you, Sharks pack was not at full strength, and it won't be because McInnes is out. But Nakora probably their best forward, second best forward, Adam.
He played.
Literally, dominated this Dogs pack.
Yeah.
I don't know, where they go from here. I think there is so much to blame on Galvin at one point, his offense, but the left edge is non-existent. They don't know how to fucking orchestrate anything they could do at the start of the season.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a fucking collapse.
Yeah.
And Gus and Serraldo, if you're going to blame Galvin, then you're actually intrinsically blaming Gus and Serraldo for putting Galvin in. Because when Sexton was there, they were great. They could score. But my issue isn't their fucking scoring. I actually have a beef with the defensive side of the ball. Some of the tries they conceded, all right, Cronulla only got racked up a score of 24, basically because they couldn't make any meters. And the ways they scored was just Nico hitting the inside runner, which you cunts weren't there, or hitting the winger and they go straight through. The try that they scored on the far edge on Katoa's side when Ramian scored, it was just fucking Nico hitting across a cutout ball, and Montoya looks at him like...
It was a good ball, to be fair.
But come on, bro. What type of best team in the defense is this?
You know what? Conceding 24 in Cronulla, and one of them was off the...
I wish it was in Cronulla. It wasn't even in Cronulla.
Conceding 24 to the Sharkies when they're playing... When Nico's confident, and 6 of the points was directly off the error where Brayley scored. I'm happy. You know what? If your defense gives up 18 to Sharks, I'm good with that. Because Sharkies, when they're playing good, they can score...
Why can they score 6?
No. Why they score 0? I don't give a fuck that
NRL
scored a 100-meter try. Sure. Why?
Can they not score?
All right, Galvin's there. Galvin's the worst player of all time. Sexton is Andrew Johns, and Galvin can't play. Sure. Okay. Crichton's still there. And the left side with Burden and
they're all there,
who are premiership winning players. This is the same left edge. This is the same fucking players that were flying high. What were they? 7-0 going to Brisbane. The same bump. Actually, their lineup was worse when they went to Cronulla and beat the shit out of them, where Sharks are actually 10 times better at home. And you pricks just ran out there for 80 minutes, not in a finals game, in a meaningless game and couldn't score. That's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You can't put that all on Galvin.
It's all on the 19-year-old.
Is Galvin playing good? No.
No one said he was.
Would Sexton potentially be better for chemistry purposes? I'll even give you that. But Sexton for Galvin is not a 0-point to 26-point swing that you guys can just fucking manufacture overnight. This is like really...
They're losing the forwards to fucking Uele and shit at this point. Like,
that's insane.
They're tired. They're tired. The Sharks pack isn't fucking God. They're good, but they're not that fucking good. You're going to play a whole lot better fucking next couple of weeks in the finals. And, I mean, their side, like, they've got the easy side of the draw, but the way they're playing is fucking atrocious. I mean...
Genuinely, if Pappy and fucking Hughes made it through unscathed on Thursday, they would literally go there at fucking 16.5.
Well, they wouldn't be able to score. That's the issue.
I know.
And Melbourne, like, I think you said this a few weeks ago, they're defending a bit better for no reason. Conveniently, they can't defend Walsh. But in the last couple of weeks, they've defended pretty well.
Sure.
So, what dog's going to score? Fucking 10, 12? I mean, how can you go to Melbourne and score 12? You're going to just get hammered.
They have Warbrick and Coates, right? Which we saw was a problem in the Roosters game.
I mean,
these motherfuckers are going to run out Rinikama and Tuala.
Well, the one thing that Melbourne will have is every outside back. Because Howarth will play next week as well. So 1 to 5, if Failongo plays,
I feel
will
like
all be there.
Meaney will go to fullback and they'll bring in Cyborg.
Yeah, he's played good.
Which is gone.
I don't. Maybe you don't bring Failongo in. I think the Failongo would fuck these cunts up like fucking hell. Because he's just like a live wire. And
anyway,
like we'll have to get that more in the preview. On the Sharks side, I may have had a little bit of booze, and I did say up Cronulla a bit too many times to the Dogs fan, but they look good. And conveniently, and I'll get to this point, only 4 teams can win the comp. But the reason for this is because 3 of the fucking idiots are all on the same side of the draw. And between Brisbane, Sharks, and Roosters, based on the draw, only one of them can get to the fucking prelim. And that's why I'm going to say 4. I'm writing off Dogs, and I'm writing off Warriors. I don't think these cunts can win a grand final. But because these 3 teams are all on one side of the draw, it's going to be a fucking battle. And for Cronulla, at least they have the game at PointsBet, which helps a little bit. I think it makes it a little bit harder for Roosters. But Roosters are playing in great form. We'll get to more in the preview. But hypothetically, you're going to have to do one or the other if you're Roosters. Go to Cronulla, which is not going to be easy, the way they're playing. We'll see what happens with Hines. In saying that, Hines not being there, I don't think either of us are too worried because Atkinson... Wow, what a signing for Dragons. For a player that hadn't played this entire time, he looked really fucking good. And I don't think it's obviously not going to be Hines. It's Trindle and Atkinson. It's not Hines level, but it's serviceable. This side of the draw could potentially get you a grand finalist, depending on what happens. Depends on what happens with Melbourne injuries. Because like you mentioned, Melbourne could win week 1. Pappy may come back. Nelson's not coming back. Hughes won't play that game. And they're going to have to play either a Brisbane, Cronulla, or a Roosters side who are going to be fucking hot. So it's going to be a little bit harder, but Sharks, like, you can't fuck that for yourselves because genuinely, if you're playing like this and you're in the top 4 or you're in Dogs positions, hypothetically, we'll give you every shot going to Melbourne with what Melbourne are running out there. So you can't shot yourselves in the foot with that, but you're still in the finals and you're still a chance. I can't believe the odds for fucking Cronulla to make the grand final at this point. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, what was it, like 20 something? Like
yeah, like 15? I would give them more favoritism than Dogs. Dogs will not make the grand final.
Dogs by the sheer virtue of being in the top 4 are shorter. But
yeah, but they're going to have to play Melbourne, Brisbane, Melbourne, Penrith, Raiders.
Look,
like, what the fuck?
We saw the spread shoot out to 6.5 when Brisbane won because Sharks had no fucking
motivation.
But I feel like if these teams played each other tomorrow, Sharks probably would be favoured.
Yeah,
because Dogs are like,
they're fucked.
fuck me, they're awful. On the Sharky side of things, I feel like they're one of few sides that can actually hang their head on their defense.
Yeah.
And that's not something we could say for a lot of sides. But truly, since getting hammered by Melbourne 30-6, they held the Dolphins to 12. They held the Roosters to 18. Souths to 12. Cowboys to 12, which honestly no one else fucking did that. 22 to Dragons was, again, we screamed at them for that, rightfully so. 22 to Titans, who is probably their average, fair enough. 16 to Knights in the game that is Dick's Knights, like no one gives a fuck about them.
Yeah.
And 6 points to the Dogs, which was a pick six essentially in the end. I feel like they're playing their best footy at the right time of the year, which is something that is odd for these pricks, but obviously the news coming out of this game, the Hines potential suspension, I feel like early mail in my brain is, come on, bro, that's not fucking something to suspend.
Yeah, but do you risk it? Do you risk it? Because
Yeah.
you could beat Roosters, but then you have to go to Penrith. Brisbane.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
You have to risk it. You have to. They're $2.40 without him, right? We can say Atkinson's serviceable, which he is, but
Look, they
they're
put themselves in this situation.
They're literally
bro.
underdogs with Hines to win. So you can't be like, well, if we beat Roosters, we'll have him. No. Like, you need to fucking win this game, right? So I feel like if Hines is out and you run Atkinson, I'm not as confident that they would beat the Chooks.
No, I wouldn't be confident. That's why they're underdogs.
You know? So I feel like
it'd still be a cracker.
I feel like they will contest it and win because that was not a traditional hip drop. The only reason he's got on a week is because Montoya got injured.
I hope so because like I said, it's game of the year so far. That Saturday Sharks Roosters game, we've had a lot of Sharks Roosters in the past, finals in particular, but this in particular, the way both teams are playing, wow, it's going to be lights out. And it is great that Nakora comes back right at the right time for Cronulla. It's a shame they don't have McInnes, but the forwards are playing good footy.
And the backline being fully healthy for the first
that's
time
helping so much.
They look really good. So shout out to the Sharkies carrying a good form into the finals, and the Dogs, the complete opposite of that. Where do you go from here? Like, it's shambles in Canterbury. Sorry, boys, but this does...
hypothetically, they did this in the game as well. Do you think Burton named centre next week?
Oh, fucking just end your season.
Well, they might. I mean...
After all that, you're going to run out Sexton and...
No. I don't think Sexton will come in. I think they'll put Hayward as 6.
Literally end your season. You're going to bring Marnie in?
Yeah. They did it on the day, so...
Seriously, end your season.
Look, who's going to fucking play centre? I'm trying to figure it out. I can't think of anyone. Tupanua, he's the centre of the year.
Yeah. Fuck it. They're going to run out with Tupanua.
Jesus Christ.
Wake up, boys. Shout out to you, Matthew, again. Sorry, mate. It's all unfolded very poorly for the blue and white. Moving on swiftly into the game that no one gives a fuck about. The Dolphins annihilated the Raiders C team in a game where there was more points than minutes in this game. 84 points, I think, was 56-24. Dolphins gave up a few easy tries that no one gives a shit about, but they dominated the ball, and they are your highest scoring team of the 2025 NRL season. So shout out to them scoring, I think, over 700 points. They really found their identity as a team as the season went along, and they did put a show on in the front of the Redcliffe faithful and put a dagger into the Raiders C team. Raiders just happy to get through this unscathed and get ready for Brisbane. Really nothing to say in this one. Would Hammer have tied or overtaken Wanganituase's record? Yeah. The way he was playing, anything was possible, but Herbie didn't end up playing, obviously, because of his own welfare, and he didn't need to play because the points were coming very rapidly in this one. What did you make of this game?
Shout out to the Dolphins, shout out to the Raiders. They deserve a week off for all the hate they got throughout the week from all these fucking peasant commentaries and analysts. Shut the fuck up. They deserve the week off, and I'm glad they took it because Ricky's a fucking smart coach and doesn't listen to these morons. Dolphins, look, your offense is something else, and we'll get to this more in the review of both these teams that played this Sunday. These are the next coming into the top 8, both the teams that played today. Dolphins, are fucking one of the worst injury runs we've seen, and it didn't seem to stop you cunts at all. Offensively, scoring the most points with the injuries you have was incredible. The forwards you're running out there, shout out to fucking some of these cunts like Keeley. I know you make fun of him a lot. Donahue was... What a year he's had. Some of these cunts were incredible throughout the whole season. So shout out to them. Raiders, there's not much to say. Who gives a fuck? You cunts conceded 62. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
But yeah, it's a shame you guys don't make the 8, but it's your own fault. Your defense is awful. Something that Wolf needs to pick up, but shout out to him as well. He's built a great season from these cunts. And for a post-Bennett era, maybe you didn't make the 8. We had you guys in the 8 and eventually missed out by one game. And if I knew that Plath and Gilbert and fucking Flegler were all not going to play most of the year, I'd never take Dolphins. But these guys are on fire.
If you told me who's going to end up playing for as long as they played, I probably would have been like they're bottom four side. But if anything, they found their stride. Shout out to Katoa. Looks like probably the next great halfback in this league. Yeah. He is fucking fantastic for his age, so mad respect to him. Trey Fuller coming back from an ACL
and I want
injury.
the God back line next year.
I mean, fuck me. He's like electric as anything. And Hammer at centre...
So
there's no lack of involvement from him in the centres that we have seen with some other sort of players that move from the fullback position. So they're going to be hard to contain next year. And if they can even play a lick on the defensive side of the ball, they are going to be hard to handle. So
I want the boys on one edge, Cobbo and Farnworth. Just like the days.
God. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
On the Raiders side, literally, who cares?
Exactly.
Moving on to the Newcastle Knights, going out there and giving up one last time to Adam O'Brien in a fixture that they... literally have not shown up in probably, again, since Halasima strike. It's just not that important, is it, boys? Yeah. Shout out to Dylan Brown. And Back Yourself Premium. The free play of today was Dylan Brown. Anytime try to score, $3, 10 odds. And he scores literally before the first minute elapses.
And you cunts could have just fucked off.
They could have... It is a good feeling when your bet hits in the first minute of the match.
That's the beauty of the first drive.
Especially when it's a narrative with Dillback scoring for no reason. It was fucking great. Obviously, seeing him run out in front of the CommBank faithful that have cheered him on for a long time and booed him a lot this season was difficult to watch because you obviously like him and his partnership with Moses for a long time. But yeah, pretty much copy-paste the Dolphins game, but even slightly to a higher tune because at least Raiders scored a few. Knights
are awful.
They've really made me come around.
They deserve it coming last.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they gave up.
Minus 300's like...
another level.
Is worse than Serraldo's Dogs.
Will anyone get plus 300?
No.
Oh.
I mean, Knights, like... I want to keep this more on the power side.
Knights, we'll get to you.
Actually, I kind of have an overall thought of the end of the last winding down rounds of the NRL and how I would approach it from a betting perspective next year. When cunts give up, like... It's not even that they have to run into elite sides to concede 60, right? Yeah, like...
That's true.
Dolphins are a great attack, but they're not an elite team. They're not even in the fucking finals, right? Para, they've been playing good footy, but again, considering who's above them, they are probably a middle of the pack side playing like this. If they were this the whole season, they'd be right around that Roosters fucking Dolphins sort of hovering around right there. And you're seeing them go out week, like consistently score over 60 points.
Yeah.
And Raiders, sure, they had a reserve grade team. That's fine.
What's Knights?
What's Knights' excuse? Ponga was out. Well, he was going to tackle any of those players. Fuck no. I mean, that's like really bad from Knights. And our other best bet in this game got dudded because we went overs into Knights plus 24.5. Thinking that I did somewhat get baited by the Titans result, thinking that, you know what, they'll go out and try to not get the spoon. If Titans lost, I would have like laid $1 million, knowing Knights would give up. But to give up on Adam O'Brien after the service he's given the club for that long and knowing that you actually could have not handed this famous and proud club another wooden spoon and that's the performance you pricks dished out was fucking despicable. But on the power side, shout out to Riles. A successful year in his first year head coaching this side.
10 wins, bro.
Shout out to Mitch Moses, further cementing himself.
That's the best
last year was a case of I am like the best fucking origin half in the arena along with Tom Dearden, hilariously. And this season has been, look, I can carry a team without the talent that I've had previously and
100%.
Really lead these boys to impressive results week in, week out. And those two things are a cornerstone of this franchise moving forward. Shout out to the Eels, who were very impressive in this week and this last 2 month stretch. And the Knights, you guys are truly awful. And I will get to you come the season review.
I only want to say about Paras, Dylan Brown, backflip. I mean, I wish it was possible.
Front flip, side, just don't go there.
Don't go there, bro, because that's the team you're going to. And holy fuck. I mean, Para, at the moment, like, it looks like Para's doing this and Knights are doing this. Like, on the Para side, probably the hottest team, like, one of the top 4 hottest teams going into the end of the year. The only loss was that South loss, and you cunts have fucking raped everyone outside of that, beating Roosters, who haven't lost any other game outside of that. So,
agreed. But Brisbane, who legit didn't lose shit either.
Yeah.
Lost to Melbourne by 6.
Exactly. Like, literally one of the hottest teams going into the year, and Riot's really turned this around. The backline playing outsong and really go into the year exactly the way they wanted to start next year really well. And yeah, like, to finish on 10 wins with Moses fucking not being there for the first 8 weeks is fucking incredible for these cunts. So we'll have to see next year. But them and Dolphins, like, are definitely the emerging stars coming into next year for sure.
I have a hilarious take. These cunts won 10 games.
Yeah, I know.
That actually should scrutinize a lot of these other teams,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
Like, we're giving Tigers a round of applause for winning 9, where
These
these cunts, like, legit had fucking basically nothing for majority of the year.
Exactly.
Titans had way more than Para ever fucking had.
Yeah.
For most of this season, had, 5 wins, 6 wins? Like,
well, I mean, you could say that about South. And South had 9 wins.
no, Souths had nothing.
And South had nothing. Yeah, like, they had 9 wins at least. Like, what the fuck? Are Titans, Knights? They're the only real 2. Because Dragons won 8 games. They had won 8 games. Like, it's not awful. But what made me happy was seeing the ladder and seeing Para above Cowboys, which really made me laugh.
Agreed. For the final time, shout out to you, Seabass, the ambassador of Parramatta.
And Joel
Shout out
Coddington.
to Joel Coddington. A successful year for the Eels, even though they don't play finals footy. But
We will discuss
they
all
are
these
playing
teams
good footy, and that's what matters.
at the end of the season review.
Obviously, we have to farewell 9 of these teams. Just quickly off the top of my head. Knights, Titans, Souths, Tigers, Para, Dolphins, Manly, Dragons. It was a blast.
Oh, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Oh,
We sayonara to those pricks.
Last week.
It was a joy watching you morons for this round. Thank you for giving us 24 games of entertainment amongst yourselves.
Especially
Souths. Knights, it was like a horror movie towards the end. It was like a good thriller up until Kalen went down, then just straight horror from Halasiba's try. But back to the drawing board for a lot of these sides, and I feel like a few of these teams might make a case to play finals footy next year, and a few of them probably will find themselves down towards the bottom again because they are awful.
100%.
And with that being said, the
leave
cream
8.
of the crop, the 8 that are left,
Are they-
technically the 7 that are left, 7.5.
What do you mean half? Who's half? 6 and a half.
Critter.
6.5.
Critter's half. Warriors. Fuck me, boys. We move on to
Finals footy.
finals footy. You smell it in the air. Something smells different in September, knowing that a few of these teams will also be joining Cowboys and Bali 7 days from now, and a few of these teams will be cementing themselves, kicking their feet up with me and you at home, getting ready to see who their opponents will be in week 3 of the finals. I'm very excited, Chris. Are you also as excited as me, knowing what the draw is?
I think,
now?
draw looks good outside of one game, and I'm glad they put that in the early slate for New Zealand as well because that helps them with the time difference. Like I said, that Sharks Roosters game is probably the pinnacle of the round.
Of salt.
Pinnacle of salt. But we have that, and I think the last 2 games are probably the best 2 games. Going into Raiders Brisbane, they're probably the best 2 games of the round. But a lot to tell on all these fronts because of how the draw is set up and realistically kind of setting up for some particular teams. Look, Dogs, like, as much as we fucking absolutely annihilate them, you cunts have been shit. You do have the good side of the draw. So it's not awful. Penrith, like I said, they're also a big chance. The only team which I actually couldn't believe my eyes at their grand final odds, the Warriors grand final odds. You want to guess what that is?
100 to 1.
Yeah, I wish it was. It was only 60. I thought 60 was a lot, but 100 is like... not that I would take it, but 60 and you're in the top 8. That is fucking insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But you cunts are fucked.
Especially that they drew Penrith.
They drew Penrith, which is just shit. Which they would have drawn Penrith even if they won, which would have been really funny because Sharks won as well. So it's going to be a good final series. We do have an extra day, but it doesn't matter because we will still do the pod on Tuesday and it'll be out by Wednesday for you cunts to enjoy. And we ramp up to the grand final. Slowly, the reviews will get longer per game, except for Warriors Penrith, which will take 2 minutes. And then we'll move on to probably the 4-hour job and a separate podcast completely between Sharks and Roosters, especially if Hines plays, because that's the game of the round for sure.
I will say we won about 14 units last week on the NRL. Another 4 this week for the NRL.
Because Dylan Brown.
4, and the NFL games have barely even kicked off, winning on the Chargers and the Cowboys. So if you are
we're
not
going
on
to
Back
bed.
Yourself Premium, this is the time to jump on, ladies and gentlemen. Literally one on fucking Dylan Brown anytime try scorer, for God's sake. You are missing out if you're not there, and if you are there, let's keep riding this hot wave and making profit. Your 3 big takeaways, Chris, in round 27 as we move into the finals, my friend. What are you thinking?
Melbourne for sure. I still got you as premiership winners, even with all the injuries, but it's going to be a lot of fun next week. I think it's a layup with Dogs, but we'll have to wait and see. And then I'm going to do the Sydney Roosters. Congratulations on making the top 8. And you guys are one of the hottest teams in the comp right now. So I feel like that will ride into the next round, but we'll wait and see because you are facing a force to be reckoned with and a team that I love. So you cunts can all say, oh, yeah, you like teams. Yeah, I like teams. We're biased. Go watch fucking 360 if you don't think we're biased. Shout out to the Cronulla Sharks. They're playing their best footy at the end of the season, which is a fucking first for these idiots. But hopefully Hines gets off and gets into this game because that is going to be a contest. But that would be my 3 takes. And Knights, like, truly, you can't, like, really. I want to say I took Titans as my team to come last. I said Knights from day one, and anyone that watched the season preview will know I said Knights because Kalen will get injured.
You're a real one.
And Kalen got injured because I remember saying it's not going to be Titans because these cunts manufacture points. And that's essentially how they got them off the bottom because they manufactured points against Tigers when they didn't want to. So shout out to myself. And now we have 1 hour to go to sleep, so you cunts can fucking hurry up.
Okay, the big 3 for me. Shout out to Brisbane. We doubted you, but you proved us wrong. Can you go to Brisbane? Can you go to Canberra and repeat your heroics? Truly, you are 80 minutes away from probably making a grand final. If you can somehow go to Canberra and win. As 3-point dogs.
You're going to open the phone come Tuesday and see Adam Reynolds at 7. I think he's put him back in.
Wake up, cunts.
You're going to kill Maguire on the podcast come preview. Someone said it to him.
Clearly, the renaissance of Brisbane occurred when Matt started watching the podcast, and he was like,
Maybe he's watching. If he doesn't get named, he watches the podcast.
He called the sniper from Melbourne and brought him to training. That's why this cunt wasn't there. Brisbane, can you guys repeat your heroics in Canberra? We'll have to wait and see. I think
Drink more toilet water.
The true ones of the pod know which way I'm leaning, even though I'm wearing their jersey, but we'll get to that when we get to it. It was such a peaceful round, and I think why. We did have some losing best bets. Why was I not anxious? Why was I not annoyed? And then I remembered the Cowboys didn't play a minute of this round, and I slept like a baby the whole week. It was fucking beautiful. Enjoy your Bali trip as much as I'm enjoying your Bali trip, you pricks.
Yeah.
And finally, who let the dogs out? No, one. Straight sets, homie. We'll see you in the fucking review of the season.
They're not even a chance?
Well, they're going to go beat Penrith.
If we get a Dogs...
Then they beat Melbourne and Penrith.
If we get a Dogs Warriors, I'll kill myself.
Fuck me. That'll be tough to watch.
But it would be comical because Penrith won't.
All right. Off to our fucking beds we go, getting ready for 3 a.m. Peace out. Sayonara. See you in 48 hours. Free my boy Nico Hines.